Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Give me a second. I gotta just clean up the browser and start the day. I just sort of been in meetings here a little bit, so bear with me. Um, just bear with me a second here, guys. Man, sorry. No. Okay, sorry. Just one more second. I'll be with you. Just everybody stay patient. We're gonna start. Got too much stuff here. Too much stuff. Too much stuff. Okay, just give me one more second. I'm trying to get myself organized here on all the tabs so we're not distracted. Trying to kill all the tabs. Okay. And I'm going to start sharing the screen in just 1 second. Okay. Tell me if you guys are seeing the screen. And give it to me in chat. Ask Boris. And let me know if you guys are seeing the screen. And just say hello to me. Let's make sure that we're good to go. Hey, Crossy. Hey, Cheryl. Screen is good. Everybody's good. Okay, just one more second. Hi, Gary. Okay. Actually, very, very smooth day today. We've had very clean trades so far. I don't have any algo trades right now because we're just starting our 9 o'clock session. But let's go through the prior trade structures that we had at the Asia session and then also the European session open, right? So I'm just gonna focus on NAS, but actually all of them worked. But I like to just work the NAS. So we're coming in, we're looking for the 1900-hour trade, right? Okay, so 1900-hour trade, the first signal is a sell prior as a buy, we ignore that. The second signal is at 2026 New York time, 8:26 in the morning Tokyo or Singapore, is a sell confirmed by the prior sell. We get short here, plus 10, very clean trade, very, very clean trade, right? Then we move on to the 2 o'clock hour. And again, we have so 2 o'clock hour, I am looking at, so over here, this is a buy prior sell, ignored, sell prior buy ignored, buy prior sell ignored, right? And then we have, what did this work? Then actually, sorry, I take it back. So on the 2 o'clock hour, I only run this, by the way, just to kind of give you full disclosure. This is the reason why I do it. If I get these kind of up and down, up and down, up and down, no discernible trend type of move where buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Starting from 2 o'clock, I truncate it by 4. I give myself 2 hours in European session. If I don't have a signal in 2 hours, I just stop trading. So there's really no trades on the European session in the Nasdaq. However, in the Dow, there were beautiful trades here. So in the Dow, again, we're looking for a 2 o'clock signal. You either could have taken, remember, this is a 210 signal. So prior is a sell. We take that for 2040. That would have worked, or you could have waited for another one. You had confirmations both ways, nice and clean entries in the Dow. So as long as you contain yourself to the proper window, which is the 2 to 4 window on the European session, we're fine. Now we're basically just getting ourselves ready for the North American session, 9 o'clock time frame. So 9 o'clock time frame, we have a sell buy. So obviously the only signal that's going to be legitimate here is if something comes in as a buy signal post 9 o'clock. On the NASDAQ side at the 9 o'clock, same kind of a story. we need a buy signal post 9 o'clock in order for us to legitimately take a trade on our session trades. But as we talked about yesterday, and Miguel has really adapted this strategy to his heart's content. That's been just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful structural strategy to trade. One other thing, I'm really going to focus. I'm sort of absolutely going to focus only on indices with you, because I want us to just have two really delineated streams of content. Kathy is doing such a great job on FX that I really don't feel I need to, weigh in with more FX ideas for you. But if you're trading FX on this particular session structure idea, the one currency pair on which this is the ninth day in a row where this has worked really well, as I said to you, is the pound. Same idea. So basically in FX, we only want to trade the European Open as the only liquid open. And again, same idea of like 2 o'clock confirmed by prior signal. So this signal comes in at around 3 o'clock, cable sell, confirmed by the prior sell. Obviously good for 5. Certainly it was even good for 10. If you want to trade this with 10 target, 20 stop, it would have worked. But if you traded very tight with a 5-10, would have worked for the 8th consecutive night in a row. If you wanted to trade that, that's all I want to do as far as FX. I really want to keep our focus on indices as far as that goes. So let me just kind of pause here. There's probably a lot of new traders in the room. Say hi to me in chat. Ask Boris if you're new, and ask me if you want me to explain to you exactly the session trading structure that we do on a continuous basis. If it's unclear to you, because if you don't ask me, I'm going to assume silence means consent and you guys fully understand it. And then if you ask me later on, I'm just, I don't have the time to explain. This is a time you have me now. It's really early. Markets are very quiet. So if you want some EDU, this is the time to ask me questions. And anybody who's been with me for a long time, if you have any specific questions on how this trade structure works, go ahead and ask me. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to see if you have any questions. David K, welcome. All right, David is working on a question, so I'll let him post up a little bit. And then I got some very cool stuff for you guys on the scalping side. So really, I want to divide our setups into 2 formats: structural strategy setups, which are the session-based setups. That is, we just trade particular time, particular structure, particular instrument. That's our kind of what I call algo-driven setup. And then we have a whole bunch of scalping setups, which are free flow, that I'm going to go over with you. And some of them are super interesting because for the first time ever, I think I have a really strong handle on how to scalp counter trend. I'm going to, I'm obviously going to show you the trend-based ones, but this is this kind of really gave me birth to trading counter trend, which I've been doing a lot. It's a lot of fun. Although it's very time consuming, so it's not something that for those of you who want to trade just 3 or 4 times a day, the session trades are the best. All right, David is writing a novel here. Okay, so the setting up trend is very easy. Let's just understand each other. What I explained to you right now, which is session trades, where we trade. It's basically appointment trading. We trade Asia session, European session, New York Open session, New York close session, particular times in a particular structure with our trend indicator, with particular entries and exits. Right? It's sort of very simple. I'm just gonna give you the time. I'm gonna give you the times, all of them in GMT, so that it's the easiest way to kind of understand it. So Asia is 2300 to 0200. That's the Asia session. And what we're looking at that time is the first signal that shows up after 2300 hours, assuming it's confirmed by the prior signal. So if you have a buy signal, it's got to have a prior buy signal. If it has a sell signal, it's got a prior sell signal. If it doesn't, you're waiting for 2 consecutive buys, 2 consecutive sells within this time frame. If you don't get the time frame, you don't take the trade. Once the time frame passes, you don't take the trade. And you trade this in the NASDAQ with 20 stop, 10 target. So let's just make it like this, minus 20, plus 10, okay? In the Dow, we don't trade the Asia and the Dow, but if you wanted to, it's minus 40 plus 20, okay? Those are, it's always the same ratios in the two over here. Okay, Jesus, can I ever type anything properly? Okay, so that's Asia, right? Then we have European Open, again in GMT time, which is 0600 to 0800 GMT, okay? Then we have New York Open, which is 1300 to, I actually made it 1700. I give myself full 4 hours. You know, New York Open is the most liquid, I'm really looking for that trend continuation move. And then we have the New York Close, which is 1800 New York to basically 2000 New York, okay? So you got 4 times during a day when you can trade. Let's say you traded NASDAQ only. That's 4 possible trades. If you traded NASDAQ and Dow, you would trade European Open, New York Open, New York Close for the Dow, and Asia for NASDAQ. So then you would have 7 trades in all if you wanted to do that, right? The game plan is to win 73 out of 4 trades a day. If we win 3 out of 4 trades a day, we're net positive every single day. Is that clear, David? Does that give you a clean sense of the structural setups that we do? Okay, awesome. Karen, my darling, what are you asking me? Well, no, it's I'm not trading that. It's 7 out. I'm only doing 1 trade, right? Generally, that trade is going to happen like in the first hour. I'm just giving myself that swath of time to trigger that. I'm only doing 1 single trade during that time frame, but I'm just giving myself a wider time frame. You know, because sometimes it takes a while for trend. I'm looking for trend, right? So generally, trend is always beginning of the auction session, and you can make it if you want to. You could cut the New York session to 13 to 1600, right? If you wanted to. It's up to you. But you're basically trading the New York Open, and then you're trading the New York Close, which is from 2 o'clock onward. The New York continuation session. Does that make sense, Karen? So I'm not trading 4 hours continuously on that particular setup. Okay. Gary, talk to me. Yeah, I mean, it's got the prior, it's got to be the immediately preceding signal before the time slot. Does it confirm? Sometimes it confirms within it. Sometimes you have to buy a signal and then a second buy signal within the time slot. But yes, or a sell signal. Obviously, the opposite. Like right now, obviously, if you got a sell signal in the NASDAQ, even though you're within a time slot, you wouldn't take it because it's not confirmable. It's just doing and the reason why we do this is very much the reason why, you avoided stupid trades is because if you don't have two signals in a row, it's very unlikely that you have a continuation move, right? Now, sometimes actually what happens is you have a false positive. So if this signal never happened, this would have been a great entry signal, right? But that's the trade-off you have to make in order to avoid dumbass trades where you sell the bottom, buy the top, sell the bottom, buy the top. The worst thing that can happen in our strategy is selling the bottom, buying the top continuously, right? We just chop is the absolute enemy of our strategy. So we need some kind of a logical structural method for avoiding chop, and that's the best way we do it, by making sure that there's a continuity trade. And like right now, we have actually a sell signal in the NAS, right? NAS is showing a sell, so it's a total waste of our time. If we go to the Dow also has a sell signal. Again, total waste of our time as far as a trade. Okay, so sort of like, let's make sure, it sounds like everybody really, really absorbed the session trades, which are the cornerstone, the foundational trades of what we do. Does that make sense? Is everybody good with this? Somebody give me an amen. Let me know you guys are really clear on the session trades. Okay, sounds good. Amen, brother. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Okay, yeah, Al, hold your horses, my friend. That's where we're going. We're going next. How do you get the Globex high and low? So I'm assuming, Al, you don't have futures, right? You're trading CFDs, or you don't have a futures account. Okay, so CFDs mirror the futures almost one by one. They just have like a 10-point offset. They just have a like in other words, this is the Dow, right? This is the Dow futures, and this is the Dow CFD. It's the exact same chart, right? You see that? That's the Dow CFD versus Dow futures. They just have a little bit of a different price differential. The price differential is just the futures premium and the futures discount, but it's literally tick for tick. CFDs are based upon futures prices. Okay, is that clear to you? So you don't need to do the Globex high, NASDAQ Globex high. All you need to worry about if you're trading CFD is the CFD high or the CFD low. Now, the only thing you do need to understand is how are those highs and lows set. So here's a CFD on the Dow. So let's just go now on a 5-minute chart. They are set. You see how the trade view indicator that I gave you automatically tells you where the beginning of the day is. The beginning of the day is 1800 hours New York, right? Because the new day starts in futures land at 6 p.m. New York and goes till 5 p.m. New York. It closes down for 1 hour. So what you're looking for, like right now, what is the absolute CFD high? 35,164, basically. The absolute low is 34,924, right? That's the CFD's numbers. I have a 5-minute chart here just to make it easy for us to see. And if I go into futures, same idea, but it's just different numbers. The futures would be 34,796. It's just a discount or premium to the prices. But the reference points you're going to be making are based upon the instrument yourself. That's the key thing, right? So you have the main thing is you're looking for fresh highs and lows. So here I am on the future side. I guess this is my session. What the hell is this? Oh, this is my session low. So let's just make this. I want to make it a dotted line or dash line. Just the Globex highs, lows. I like to make them as dash lines. So that would be I guess that would be like right over here. It's literally, you see how crappy a day it is today? The yesterday's high was pretty much the high of the Globex low. Like it just basically been fading all the way through, right? So obviously, when you're trading fresh highs, fresh lows, right? So here's a good example. This was the prior kind of fresh low. This was a low that was set 22:35 New York time, and then they bounce around, and the low was around 950, right? 34,950. So if you sold 947, 945, if you sold the break at a 950, right over here, you see that it was really good for a huge amount. It was like good for a whole 100 points. I mean, that's not always the case, but it's certainly always the case for at least 10 to 20 points to the downside. So when we have fresh highs, fresh lows, we definitely want to take advantage of those and trade those, right? But okay, so let me sort of stop here, make sure everybody is on board with that. So you kind of understand. First we track the highs and lows, and I'm going to make it easier for you guys because I'm going to get Daniel, who's now in Brazil, it's very easy for us to have the indicator repaint fresh highs, fresh lows. So we made built in fresh highs, fresh lows as a function, as an add-on function into the trend indicator. So it will just simply paint it for you, and you'll really be able to see it. Like it'll just paint it live for you as it goes by over here. So you'll know the reference points instead of you having to go look back. So we'll make the software smart, but that'll be like in the next version of the update. But generally, I mean, basically, you get the idea. When fresh highs, fresh lows on a Globex side are important. Those are important levels. They generally broken. You want to assume that the first touch is the good touch. They want to be broken. They're going to run those things for at least a little bit. There's going to be always at least we're going to trade for the spillover, right? And that spillover is between +5 to +10 in NASDAQ, depending on the time of the day, and +10 to +20 in the Dow, right? With a twice the amount of risk structure. So is that clear to everybody? Can I get an amen number 2 from the congregation here? Does everybody understand how to trade that? So we're just entering market once it's broken and just trying to run that trade, right? We've done that a lot of times last week. It worked really, really, really well, all right? All right. That should be amen number 2, Cheryl. Number 2, okay? Because we got 3 amens here. Because now it comes the third thing that I'm going to show you that is just so awesome. You're going to love me for it. All right. For all of you inveterate, degenerate gamblers in the room, which is pretty much all of you, here's the really, really interesting way to scalp intelligently, right? So I've never been able to be good at picking tops and picking bottoms until I had like this epiphany looking at our trend-based indicator structure. So let me run you through this. And I think you guys are gonna hopefully agree that it's at least methodical. So here's what we're looking to do, right? And this works on a micro level, but obviously works on a big level as well. But ideally, I'll give you the ideal case scenario, and then you can do derivative case scenarios. So the ideal case scenario is you want trend to kind of take place for at least 10-15 minutes on a 1-minute chart, right? So I started around 3. You really actually maybe even half an hour. So you got half an hour of hardcore trend, meaning prices getting sold off or prices rising strong against the envelope. Either way, it's selling or rising against the envelope, right? You guys with me? Right? Now, the second ingredient in our scalp setup is that price then has to stop selling and rise, but not just rise. It's got to rise all the way to the outer edge of the envelope, to the other moving average. It's either got to touch it or close above it, whatever you want it to do, but it's got to make that V-shaped pierce. It's not good enough for it to just touch the first half. It's got to touch it's got to go all the way to the second half. Got to go all the way to the second half. That's ingredient number 2, right? Then ingredient number 3 is price has got to start dropping back down to our original low points, right? And this is where you gotta just bite the bullet. If you wait, I mean, you could wait if you want to be super safe, but the real money is kind of made in you not waiting. So somewhere around, you already know what the low is over here, which is 95, right? Somewhere around like +5 to the low. You can't be perfect. You start making, well, this is actually +10, right? What is this? The low here is, let me see now. Sorry, what is this? Low is, what's the low? Oh, 97, and the low over here is, no, it's a good 10, it's a good 10 low. It's a good 10 low. In this case, it's +10 low. This is a Dow. In the Nasdaq, it's a little closer, but if it's within 10 points of the low, right? You can either kind of bite the bullet and say, okay, I'm just going to get long here with a 40 stop and a 20 target for because now I've made boom, 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 and I'm looking for a double bottom, right? As long as it's this. Now the problem is that if you're guessing, you're definitely going to get better price, but you don't know if the next candle is going to drop through the support level, right? You just don't know. You're just assuming the support is going to hold. So if you want to be more cautious but worse execution, then what you're looking for is once it gets down to approximately within 10 points or 5 points of this level, then the first green candle tells you, I have double bottom support. I have double bottom support. So now I'm going to go here, much worse price execution, much worse price. But I'm going to give myself, 40 points, and I'm going to bet on the fact that it's going to extend, outward, right? Now, sometimes the turn is full and you get a great turn. Sometimes the turn is very weak and you just make 20 points. I only want to go for 20 points. But and sometimes it just fails miserably. But that failing miserably is actually pretty rare, because if you look at this signature structure, and the key thing is you need that signature, which is I'm going to run up, I'm going to touch the outer edge of the band, I'm going to come back up to this particular level, right? Particular level. So let's say over here you say, okay, I'm going to wait for the red candle around the zone. So I'm not going to short the green one. I'm going to short this one, right? Which means I'm going to short at 94, and I'm just targeting 20. And it comes down to 62. So you can see it makes more than enough to make 20, right? This is basically a double top. But this is the thing. It's a double top that doesn't necessarily break the trend, right? The trend can just be can still continue to the upside. You're just trading the crest of the wave. You're just hitting that second wave, riding it for a little bit, then coming back and saying, okay, now I'm going to try to ride the third wave, riding it for a little bit. Again, because why am I doing this? Because it keeps touching the outer edge. It keeps making a deep wave decline. That gives me lots of confidence that eventually, you're close to a turn, right? It's that particular signature that it's got to go, because a truly strong trend that doesn't ever really come back, doesn't even come close to touching the second thing, and doesn't come back to touching, to coming back. So it's really beautiful because it's super mathematical. There is no interpretive variance here. And this is, by the way, a 5-minute chart, only because because I'm just compressing time. But obviously, you can do this on a 1-minute chart as well. The critical thing is it's got to really touch the level. And yeah, you're on a 1-minute chart. This is the reason why you have to give yourself lots of room. You sometimes on a 1-minute chart, you're not going to get the. Remember, I said you really want to have like a 30-minute decline. In this case, decline is just very, very short. It's only like a 10-minute decline. Not really worth it for you, to engage. I like to have at least 30 minutes of decline, then a touch of the secondary. Then I have a higher probability that I'm going to be able to short it. So in this case, I wouldn't take. First of all, I don't even have an example until I get 30 minutes. Here, I do have an example, but it's too early. So I'm going to pass up on this. And here's a touch of this coming back. Secondary, I'm going to get long over here at 26s. That takes me all the way out to 46s, right? Market open. Let's see what's going on here. We got sell structures coming in. I'm actually trying to see. Let me just sort of. Sorry, I didn't know where. I don't think we're definitely not below session low here. Let me mark that up. Here is Alt H over here at the 52s. The highs are pretty much near the day's highs, so that's where it is. Where's the Nasdaq? Dow. So you know we're not that far away from session lows. So we should we might be able to get a little scalps off over here. So we'll watch the Dow a little bit. We'll see what we can do. But you know, you guys get the idea. This is an intelligent way of rocking. So you did, Gary. You just sold without signals. You just sold on momentum, right? You just basically followed momentum here, and you sold it. Okay, your place. So I think it's around what 37. It's basically 34,800. We're 30 points away from session lows. I'm going to watch this. That's it's a stretch here. Let's see. I mean, that's an interesting thing. I'm interested to see how did the indices trade. On the other hand, I'm also watching this, by the way, right? Because you can trade it the other way. Because I'm gonna watch the session lows, and it's 30 points away. It's a little far. But you know, oh, this is a 5-minute chart. Shit, I got to go to the 1-minute chart. I'm sorry. I'm like, what am I doing here? Okay, so it's a 1-minute chart. So let's organize this. Okay, yeah. So it's a 1-minute chart. So come back here. What I'm looking at actually here is, what if I get a? I'm going to watch for. I'm actually going to see if I can play the rebound off session lows if I get one. So I need 3,800. I mean, we could if this breaks 3,800 to the downside, you know, we could play it. But right now, what's happening is we're actually kind of building the first. Let's let this candle complete. But if this candle completes as a green candle, I may be willing to kind of. It's a little early, and it's not that. It's a little too far away from session lows. It's about 30 points. So I'm not loving this. You know, this green candle. If the candle comes in at 34,800 on the green side, it's not even coming in yet. I would be willing to scalp it to the other side. Like I'd want to scalp it, you know, the opposite. But I need to have a green candle confirm to me that we have some kind of a bottom right here. So you know, we'll watch this a little bit here. Yeah, but we're clearly selling off into the first 3-4 minutes. Question is how much more selling is there, you know, to the bottom over here right now. All right, you know what? I'm just going to buy for a 5 just to see if I can scalp it to the 5-6. Okay, and you see, quick scalp again. You know, and this worked for much more than that. You know, you see that basically my calibration is I'm very close to Globex lows. It printed a green candle. We're really grossly oversold. It's a decent trade. There's actually a decent trade for much more. There's a decent trade for 20. I don't know if any of you guys got off this. You know, got it trading, but that was, you know, that was an interesting little look to the downside. Oh, let's see what the NAS is doing. NAS might give us another trade. Here we go. Let's watch NAS. NAS is also really, really close, but NAS is much worse. So NAS is not even giving us a green. Let's go look at the NAS. NAS is like 52 to the session lows. Let's see if I get a. I really need a green candle before I could even consider a pop here. So NAS is really, really volatile. I mean, it looks good. It's a big green candle. You know, it's kind of reversing. Sometimes you have to just let it go. But let me see if I can. All right, I'm going to see if I can possibly make 5 here. I'm chasing it very, very high up. It's had a big reversal. It really needs a 20-point stop here. I just don't want to do a 20-point stop, and that's going to be probably my problem. But maybe I can make 5 points on the scalp here to the upside. This is not a great trade. I'm just almost doing this for demo purposes for you guys, because the risk here is just too much. You see, I knew it would be, and this is going to just too much of a risk for us. To really, 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 really trade it, you want to trade it with a 20-point stop. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to put 20 points on this just to do this properly. Oh, I already got stopped. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I got stopped, but like that's the point. I needed to have 20 points, and now it's actually going to probably work. Um, so I'm just going to go back in here. And there it goes. Yeah, and just with Nasdaq, you can't do a 10-point stop on such a massive ass candle. But again, same principle. The principle being that you you had a reversal candle near Globex lows, which was good enough for a reverse scalp. But again, one of those the thing when you're doing these scalps against trend, you can't hesitate. You have to have the setup perfectly set up and get it right. And with Nasdaq, you have to have the wider stop. I just knew that wasn't going to last. And now it could actually go 10 points our way. We could have probably traded this 10-20 without much problems. And it's probably going to pop now towards like we bought this in 77. It's probably going to go 87, no problem. So just kind of showing you the mechanics of the reverse trade on this thing. And this isn't even the kind of scalp trade that I want to show you. This is just simply trading against the Globex lows if I have a a green candle. Now what's going to happen, and now what we can watch for is does the price stretch out all the way to the other outer edge of the moving average, and then does it come back and retest the lows? And if it does come back, retest the lows, and gives us a green candle, then we're gonna scalp to the upside as well. But it's got to do that. So far, it's actually pretty negative. So far, we basically had a move, came back down, and now, like if we come back and we're going to run this Globex lows, I'm actually going to sell the Globex lows. Like at this point, we may have more downside action to blow through the downside. Just like with the Dow, we're just breaking the Dow. Let's just actually trade the Dow here. Where's my Dow? I'm selling the Dow. I'm going to sell the Dow. I need to again give this 20 points, but I have 40 points. Let's see. 40 points to 20 points. Let's see if the Dow I kind of came in a little bit late, but we got to give this a little breathing room. So this was the Dow low, and maybe the Globex low holds on the Dow. Maybe they don't penetrate it, but it seems to me like generally we should be able to break to the downside on the Globex low. We'll see. Right now there's we may get a couple more buyers here. So this Globex low trade may not be working, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah, I'm going to take 13 on here, just because and it finally drops down, and that's that's a great example of Globex low being broken. So we have both traded against the Globex low on the scalp side, and then traded through the Globex low on the continuation mode. And again, it's a question of knowing your context, right? Where you are in the field of position, where the market is kind of running, how much intensity there was here today. And this was pretty pretty classic, pretty good quality stuff for us to run through. So that worked fine for plus 13. It actually went to to the full 20. Let's change our focus to the Nasdaq and see where we're at on the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq kind of bouncing around, still in front of the Globex low. We're gonna watch this. We'll see how it's trading now on the Globex low. Um, oh, Noor, are you looking for how to set alerts on the trend sell? Like, what's it's going to do is it's just going to give you a trend buy, trend sell. Every time this thing comes up, it's going to give you an alert. Is that what you want? Because that's the only alerts it's going to give you. I don't. This isn't a great, classic setup. But I'm kind of watching this NAS. NAS seems to be double. I mean, this is not really a double bottom. It hasn't really touched the outer edge. It's probably a stupid ass trade. And actually, I'm not going to do it because it violates a lot of rules for me to want to get long here. But if this is a green candle, you could make an argument. Okay, they're making a double bottom here. Might be worth a trade. But I still think the much more interesting story is going to be how we're going to act over here. Where are we? What happens if we get to the 50s on the Globex low? I still think this is a lot of it is just fake action here right now. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you how to. Basically, the indicator is the trend buy, trend sell. That's the indicator that we have. That's what it's going to do. And there's a way to do this. I'll show this. I'll show how this is done for you. Okay, you just give me a second. I just watching price action now. So um, kind of now we're getting close to the session lows. See, it's probing session lows here um, in the NAS. But it's kind of lackluster. I'll be honest with you. It's not like they're really running the price hard here. Um, all right, are we coming in? You know what? Let's get short here for 5. Let's see if it's going to break us down to what's my TP 47. Let's see if it actually tests this. I'm a little bit I'm a little bit leery of this, but let's see if it can actually do anything for us. I don't like the price action. It's not fast. It's not furious. It definitely bouncing off the session low hard here. So I can't say I love this trade, but let's give it a shot here. So not really. This trade doesn't look. This trade looks like it's going to bounce hard on us. And if it does, I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to reverse this trade. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give this trade the full minute completion, and if it stays hard at this levels, I'm going to reverse it. It's clear that they bought the bottom here. Okay, I'm going to buy it. Get long here. I'm going to just get long because it's clearly a reversal trade here, and it should be working for us the other way. 72, 72. Come on, 72. Make it hard. 72, 72. There we go. So that reversed. And I was watching this price action it was really stretched out. It wasn't like it was far away, and it was obvious that they were going to kind of test it and then come back. So fine, and that's the beauty of our that's the beauty of this particular setup, is that you're not married to this opinion. The price action kind of guides your actions. So in the case of Dow, the Globex lows really ran through cleanly. This one, you could see that they were just testing it, and they just bounced it right back. And the price action gave you a great clue. This is a huge big green candle off the lows, gave you a sense, oh yeah, they're gonna bounce it back. Now, we're gonna watch it again, because they may come back for a third or a fourth wave. If they come back for the third or fourth wave, usually it's like a battering ram. The more they come back for it, the more vulnerable this support is. So if we get a secondary move through the 50s, I'd be willing to give that a shot one more time. But let's see how this develops. Meantime, Dow is bouncing off the bottoms. It's well above the 800 level. So clearly it looks like they want to be buying rather than selling these lows. Well, let's see what the price action is at. Pretty much two-way price action. Still a lot of selling pressure on the NAS. Let's see if they can come back for a battering ram on the second time. So far, no. So I want to be looking at around the 50 level. If they start breaking the 50 level, I want to come in on that trade. The absolute low was 49. So yeah, I want to be at 50. I mean, it's always a little bit of a tap dance, because you could always get double bottomed at 50. It could just be sort of like a second retest and a rebound. But generally, I want to be on the side of momentum if it comes down to that level. Because if they bring it all the way down to those levels, they're going to want to try to flush the stops all the way down into the 40s. But it's interesting. You see how the price action really having a tug of war right in front of that Globex low, right? Bulls really trying to pull it up, trying to pull it away from the support level. See if this is the low of the day so far, and then they can just come back and try to short squeeze you higher. But until one or the other breaks, we don't move, because we really don't know who's in charge yet. Let the price show us who's in charge. Now, if I'm scalping for myself, and again, this is just my own little thing, I just get long here, just for not a great setup. But I'll tell you why I get long in just 1 second. Let's see if this trade works. What I need, 72s? Maybe I get 72s. Let me see if I can get 72s. Maybe not. We'll see. So the reason why I'm kind of, playing this just for my own amusement is because what you see here is a higher double bottom in front of the session low. But as I said, that's not that, it's an okay idea. It's a quasi legitimate idea, but it's not a super strong idea because a lot of this could just be a temporary double bottom, and it can flush me out. um, you know, and you only want to go for like 5 points, and I just barely missed it. I was, my execution was a little bit off. Had I been at 65, I would have been able to get the full 5 points. But I was kind of showing it to you. But let's just see if still my general thought pattern and my directional sense is okay here. Because I'm basically, I'm just trying to read the price action as it's developing right now in front of us. Not, as I said, not a it's just a pure proprietary read, not anything that is a true quality setup like I showed you, where it goes all the way up, all the way down, and then I really have a lot of confidence that trade is going to work. I mean, this thing could just collapse right through the lows, and then I would sell the lows. A lot of two-way battle, and they're trying to absorb the cells, but like they can only absorb so much. You can see it's kind of weakening, weakening, weakening. So this double bottom could break, and um, they could go to fresh session lows, I think. Let's see how this is playing out. Let's see if yeah, it looks like it's going to go to fresh session lows. Okay, I'm going to stop myself out because that wasn't a great trade. And let's see if we got anything good coming up here, if we can break the 50s. So far, no. So far, no. We just probe it, but didn't break it. And that's an interesting, so this turn, I'm watching this price action here. If I get a green candle now, that's going to give me a lot of confidence that that's a bottom. But so far, no. So far, it's just they're probing, probing, probing. But it feels like they want to come back and test the 50s again. Let's see what happens. All right, candle looking good. They kind of held it. If I get it within 10 seconds of a green, no. They're not holding the greens, so still no signal, but let's just see. No trade. Very strong two-way market, which makes it, very hard to read the price action because not one side is dominating. It's a lot of chop. Although you could see that the buyers really kind of held back on the Globex lows here and bought them 2 or 3 times. but they haven't been able to, to rally them. They haven't been able to really establish a reversal trend yet. So we don't really have a chance to go. Okay, let's see if they're going to come back through the 50s again. All right, I'm selling it. And we should be able, there we go. And that worked out nicely. Okay, see that? You have to be patient. And the third battering run worked really, really well. So that actually worked for more than 5 points. I was a little bit late on my entry, but you saw like it went 50 to 47 and they just broke all the stops. So you have to be super patient with this structure. We try to go the other way to see, on just a non-setup structure, and that didn't, that only worked a little bit. But overall, this clearly, you can see that the session Globex low proper run did work. It fit. We bumped on the first time. This, we didn't really hold the second time. The third time it broke through. It broke through really, really hard. So, so it's where is this now? And it's very likely it's going to go for much longer. I don't know if any of you guys went with me. Connie took 4 with me on the trade. Good for you, Connie. Good for you. And now, honestly, we don't, like, if you want to trade this properly, we don't have any rational trades until the following happens. Price comes in, touches the outer edge, the top edge of the moving average. If we get a big rally, then comes back off, then finds some sort of support around the 40s for a second double bottom, and only then, do you have a chance to trade the turn. Until you get that, you're not going to get it. I mean, it looks like right now we could be looking at a much deeper sell-off on the NAS. Let's just take a look at the Dow to see if there was anything. Now there's nothing. Dow is far off the. Dow looks much healthier. It was far off the moving averages. Jonathan took 5. Good for you. Good for you. Anybody else take the trades? Karen, you follow me into NAS? Good job. Yeah, Cheryl, it's like it's okay. There's like there's about 5 opportunities every day for this trade. My main thing is for you guys for you to really see it, taste it, trade it. Oh, NAS is doing a big reversal here. I'm fucking around. And do not follow me on this trade. I'm just screwing around because I see the big reversal candle. I'm thinking maybe we might be good for another 5 to the upside. but do not follow me. This is a stupid ass trade. I'm just, fooling around. This does not have any conditional reasons for the trade to work, except the fact you got a big ass reversal candle here. And I'm just thinking we might be able to squeeze another 5 points to the upside. What is it's a 60? I got to go see 60. Let's see if this comes back up to 60. Just on a short covering basis. So they took out, basically the idea is they took out all the stops, and now they want to try and squeeze this back up to the 60s. Can we take it to the 60s? Super close. Come on. Nope. All right. Yeah, this was, I was late on this trade. I should have come in the 50s, but that's why I told you not to follow me on this trade. But let's see if this thing kind of falls out. Wow, did this thing come all the way down to the 22s? I didn't realize. Whoa, this really, I didn't realize this took such a deep dive. Wow, that was a big dive. I didn't realize that. Oops, and now we break down to the 40s. Okay, guys. So hopefully you guys get a good sense of the structural trades, the session, the Globex highs, Globex lows trades, which are obviously very solid, and then the scalp, the counter trend scalp trades, which we frankly haven't had. I haven't even had a single legitimate counter trend scalp trade. So I just been freestyling it here for you. But hopefully in the next couple of sessions we'll get some legitimate counter trend scalp trades. Like none of this is a legitimate trade because we haven't touched the upper end of the range. We got to touch the upper end of this range in order for these trades to be real. So don't trade them. Okay, I got to run because I got a meeting. I'm a little bit late, but everybody, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll have everything posted for you guys then. Everybody have a great day. Take care.